Hello and welcome to myfinanceteacher.org. This video is an abridged short version of the review of a range of markets I've just posted at myfinanceteacher.org. In this video, we're just going to talk about precious metals related assets. For more frequent updates on a range of assets and for very educational newsletters, my colleague who is a very experienced long-term investor, join us at myfinanceteacher.org. Next, looking at gold. Unfortunately, we see that gold is feeling sick today, a relatively big red candle, and it's dipped below the 50-day moving average, all within 1 day today. If this decline continues over the next few days, there is a chance that gold might give us a lower low compared to what we saw on the 5th of June, and that might possibly give us a correct short-term daily cycle low with a more usual duration of 49 days, rather than 35 days based on the 5th of June low so far. And if that happens, that would actually agree with the comment I received on YouTube about the head and shoulders formation on the daily chart of gold. Thanks, James, for this comment. I think James is referring to this bit of extended shoulders, both on the left and on the right hand side. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But unfortunately, I think it's more likely that we're going to see lower gold price over the next few days rather than higher gold price. Part of the reason why I think so is the duration of this short-term daily cycle. If we see a cycle in another 1 or 2 weeks, that would give us a more usual duration of about 1.5 to 2 months. And that would also unfortunately mean that the chances of testing 1800 within the ongoing intermediate cycle might become relatively slim, because if we're going to see gold decline for another 1 or 2 weeks, that would give us an intermediate cycle low lasting for over 3 months already, meaning that the bounce into the third short-term daily cycle might be a relatively weak one, as it will be time for an intermediate cycle decline in general. Looking at Optimism Index for
Before
gold,
we continue, let me remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and click that bell notification.
so there's a good chance gold might continue down for another few days, and this Optimism Index possibly touching the neutral level, say at about 50, before we enter into the rallying stage of the next short-term daily cycle. And looking at GDX, with gold giving us a red candle today already before the US markets are open. Unfortunately, it's quite likely that today GDX will come very close to my stop loss, or maybe even trigger my stop loss, which is, as far as I remember, at about 31.6 on GDX. However, there is just a bit of a chance that today GDX just retests this breakout at about $32 and bounces back up. That's why my stop loss is just under that at 31.6. Oops, a bit of a correction here. My memory was a bit wrong. My stop loss is at 31.3, as you see from my post at myfinanceteacher.org. Still, if GDX is below this breakout level and even below the recent low on the 5th of June, if we see GDX below that, there's a good chance GDX will continue down to close some of the recent gaps. In either case, so far so good. We've had nice profits all the way since late March, and even if we are stopped out, there'll be a nice chance to re-enter 1 or 2 weeks later. Looking at silver, there is a similar situation here. If silver drops below this 200-day moving average, there is a good chance of a continued decline until we see a few pokes through the lower range of the Bollinger Bands, maybe a retest of the 50-day moving average before the bounce into the next short-term daily cycle. Looking at silver Optimism Index, as you see, it's still a little bit high at about 48, and the recent low that we saw in early May dropped the silver Optimism Index down to 40. But personally, I am still holding 57% allocation to a range of different assets related to precious metals. So today and tomorrow, I'll be just curious to see if the stop losses are going to be triggered. In either way, I will let you know at myfinanceteacher.org. That's all from me for now. I wish you a very nice day. Let me thank you again for being a member at myfinanceteacher.org, and good luck in your trades.